just to get a feel of the audience here, how many of you are looking to, how many of you are looking for investments now or in the next 1 year or so, not necessarily right away, okay? So you're looking for capital. Okay, how many of you are currently running businesses? You're entrepreneur already, okay? And how many of you looking to start new companies? Okay. So there's a good balance of people that want to start and people that are already entrepreneurs, and looks like quite a few of you looking to raise capital. I think we'll talk about some of these topics. You must have heard quite a bit from everyone today. There was some discussion around incubation centers, et cetera, and capital raising. So we'll try to combine those two aspects as we talk. I'll first request each of the panel members to spend a couple of minutes talking about their thoughts on what companies could do to think about fundraising. We'll start with Mr. Sunil Goyal.
I run an early stage venture capital fund called Earnest Angel Fund. And this was conceptualized after me having worked for 10 years with Sunil Bharti Mittal. And I know when he started Bharti Airtel, he never had any money in his pocket. Virtually, it was an idea, it was a dream. He had seen the future that is coming by. And the complete balance sheet of his parent company was a turnover of 5 crores and net worth of 1 crore. That's the time he conceptualized a business which required 300 crore of rupees. It was only what the earlier speaker said, performance. The idea translated into action in a very effective manner that people like us came and funded them. For Earnest, an idea, if you are able to translate that into a customer proposition where a customer is validating that I am prepared to pay for it, we are ready. Now, how does that happen? It happens either you becoming part of an incubation center and getting the initial 10 to 15 or 20 lakhs of rupees. We have multiple incubation centers with which we have tie-ups, and 2 of our funded startups have come in from an incubation center. There, the idea is validated. You get a support system of mentors and everybody else who say as to how to translate that business plan or idea into a proof of concept or so. Once that is done, there is some hope that you can come over here and get the money from a venture capital. But does every business need a venture capital? 95% of the businesses don't need venture capital. They need routine capital, either from banking sources or other government sources or the private and public sources, etc., other than venture capital. So venture capital is not the only way to raise money. That's the only thing that I'll say in the beginning.
Thank you, Sunil. Little more on that, Ajay, more from as the companies start to grow, you have a platform to take these companies public at the SME space, so a little bit of how companies could go do that.
I have been in the capital market for last 20 years, 2 decades. And out of that 17 years, I have been working with Bombay Stock Exchange, an organization around 140 years old. No, extraordinary organization. If you see the capital market, we are the pioneer of the capital market. But in 140 years, we have got 5,300 companies listed. And today, the market capitalization of these 5,300 companies is 80 lakh crores. That is $1.5 trillion. And our GDP is $2.5 trillion. So that is the contribution of Bombay Stock Exchange towards the growth of the country and towards the growth of the entrepreneur. I just give you a small example, okay? Normally, we think that capital market is mostly for the larger companies, for the big companies, and it's not meant for the smaller company. Let me give you an example. And most of the companies who have grown, they were at one time a very small company. Perhaps 20 years back, we might not have heard about angel fund, venture fund, or PE fund. But those companies have started at that point of time. Say, for example, Reliance. In '87, they have come with an IPO of 2.84 crores. So the market capitalization of the full company was somewhere around 12 crores. Today, the market capitalization of that Reliance is around 4 lakh crores. So it's not that the capital market is meant for only large companies, it's also meant for a smaller company. But recently what we have done around 2.5 years back, to facilitate the smaller companies to do lesser compliance and get listed on this platform, we have started this SME platform on 13th March 2012. So any company having post-issue paid-up capital of 1 crore, net worth of 3 crores, and net tangible assets of 1 crore can get their company listed on this SME platform. And here BSE is the sole approval authority. You don't have to go to any other place. And mostly what we are observing that within 3 months, the companies are getting listed. And till today, in 2 years, we have got around 63 companies listed who have raised around 530 crores. And today, the market capitalization is 7,800 crores of these 63 companies. So almost it has crossed 1.2 billion US dollar. We have also launched recently on 11th February 2014, institutional trading platform. Here you can get your company listed without bringing an IPO at a very small cost. So these two platforms are existing as of today. Now, what is the benefit of getting listed on the stock exchange? Under one umbrella, you are getting everything. You are getting funds for your expansion, acquisition, your balance sheet getting stronger because you are less dependent on only debt fund. Third thing, your visibility increases manifold. Fourth thing, you can retail your employees by giving ESOPs. You can bring HNI funds who can be more interested in giving you a fund because they have got the exit option. And it's always better, that risk should keep on distributing from one person to another. And this will help in creating a better market capitalization and better visibility. So these are the various benefits that you can get by getting your company listed on the stock exchange. And I don't think that compliances are a big issue. If you can comply with Income Tax Act, professional tax, service tax, and the babus of the country, I think listing is the simplest way to do all the compliances at one place. So its listing is, migrating from taxation model to wealth creation model. So that's what is the benefit of getting the company listed on the stock exchange.
Very interesting. I don't know how many of you are aware about this SME platform. But as you think about starting the company, and as you think about capital raising, which a lot of you were interested, anybody who's putting capital in is going to say, how am I going to get that out? So an exit is a very important part for any investor. And it is fundamentally a platform that allows exits for those early stage investors by being able to sell their share and take out their money that they put into your company. So it's a good platform that you all should be thinking about. Over to Anurag.
Okay. So just a quick introduction of what we do. So Intellicap is a company that was set up about 10 years ago, focused on market-based approaches to development. So we essentially look for interesting ideas, innovative ideas, and entrepreneurs who could execute on those ideas. And our whole focus was to build an ecosystem around that to help those entrepreneurs scale up. So Anand's company, SkillPro, is one of the, and Anand himself is one of the entrepreneurs that we are working with. And they're trying to solve this critical skill gap in the industry. So just as an example. So 10 years back when we started, the company was started with 1 lakh rupee of capital, which is the mandatory requirement for a private limited company. And as far as the team was concerned, it was a bunch of 20-year-olds who just believed in the idea. Over the last 10 years, we've grown into a group of about 700 people. We have close to about 500 crores of assets under management within the group. And we've built multiple businesses along the way, which includes a consulting business, investment banking business, a research business. We have an angel network within our group. We have a microfinance company within our group. We have a company which does SME debt financing, venture debt, which is probably first of its kind in India. And we also have a platform which brings together various social enterprises, investors looking to invest in such businesses, corporates who are interested in the inclusive business space, government folks, academicians who are researching that space. So it's a collaborative platform for action. So essentially what we are trying to do through these different businesses is bring together intellect, capital, and networks for inclusive development. So that's the journey so far over the last 10 years. And it's been achieved with absolutely no capital and no experience. So it's just pure play entrepreneur spirit, and we work with entrepreneurs who are mostly our client. And I think the most critical thing, if I have to sum up, is that capital flows to ideas. So if you have a bright idea and you have a good execution plan, you have the capability to execute on it and the conviction to deliver on it, also needs a lot of persistence. And I think people will chase you for capital. So the kind of people who have invested in our group include 2 billionaires in their personal capacity. One is the founder of eBay, Pierre Omidyar, so through his investment firm Omidyar Network. In fact, 3 billionaires. The second one is the Dell Foundation, which is the foundation set up by Michael and Susan Dell. And the third one is the Chandler brothers through Legatum Ventures. So in spite of us being inexperienced people with really no capital, we were able to attract this kind of capital because bright idea, passionate people, and the conviction to deliver.
That kind of also sums up what you need in your business, right? The right kind of idea, the passion to succeed, the capital, etc. So let's talk a little bit about I'm sure a lot of you have written a business plan, and some of you looking to do it. But I think that after seeing over 500 business plans in trying to invest, after writing several business plans myself as an entrepreneur, I always find that there is always something that we don't know. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of businesses would really attract capital. What makes it interesting to investors in terms of the basic business. And we all have different thoughts, and we have all different areas of investment, so different priorities. So I'll just give it to the, by the way, at this point, if anyone has questions from here on, feel free to. And while there's no questions, we'll continue to give thoughts on different, I'll be the one asking questions if you don't. So, but our preference is that you ask the question. So let's start with Sunil on what kind of, what does he look for in a company that he wants to invest?
See, when you decide on a venture or an idea, you actually are prepared to give all your life, full next 10, 20, 30 years onto that particular venture. That means you have thought through that this is the future for you, as well as you see this as a biggest opportunity for you based on your capability and competences. As your next angel fund, we've been seeing the trends in the marketplace. In the next, within this decade, we are going to be seeing internet penetration going up from 200 million to 700 million. Imagine the kind of revolution that came in when the mobile penetrated from 2 to 900 million people. Everybody has a mobile. 3 years ago or 4 years ago, we have not even heard of an Android phone or a smartphone. Today, each one of us has a smartphone and we are transacting on that. We are trying to find more information and we are connecting. We are actually transacting. We are actually buying products using mobile, and we are seeking more information using mobile internet. We see this is going to be the biggest change. Any service which is going to be delivered on a connected device beyond even, including computers, including the tabs, including mobile, etc., and Internet of Things in the times to come by, is going to grow exponentially. If that is going to grow exponentially, we will be the first one to look at your business plan and come and review and meet you. What do we look after? Look for when we meet you? Is it the Excel sheet or the business plan that you put together? Let me tell you, the weightage to that is very, 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 very low. The most important aspect is when we meet you, what kind of conviction, persistence, and what kind of abilities you're demonstrating to execute that business plan. Has the business plan been prepared by you, or you've got somebody else to prepare it? If it has been prepared by somebody else, we catch it within 5 minutes. We ask a few questions, we get to know that you thought the CA can do a better job on financials. No. It is you as an entrepreneur who need to know your cost of production, your sales, your unit economics, whatever, everything has to be known to you rather than any CA in the system. If you know, then a one-pager Excel sheet is good enough for us to be able to understand as to how you're visualizing the future in the coming years and how you will be cost competitive or better than anybody else who's providing that particular service. Business plan only gives us the idea of your financial competencies in the sense that it gives us that you are raising the right amount of money. You're not going for extra monies and you know money, how is the value of money. Most important is, can you think of who's going to come and compete you and what is the way that the person can come and kill you? Risk is one of the elements that we have to very, very clearly understand from your discussions that have you thought of every possible risk or most possible risk and you have an answer for that. Answer in the sense it won't be a clear answer. It will never be a perfect answer. Only aspect is that you have thought through it for 15, 20 seconds and you have some gut feel that if a situation like that comes by, I am prepared. At least when we interact with you on that point while evaluating you, if you're aware of those risks, that itself gives us a confidence. If you're not aware of if you don't even acknowledge that risk, then we start feeling doubtful that the person is not doing systematic thinking. With that particular background, means I would say you pass through the basic tests. Other important aspect, have you got talent to work with you? Is it only you? Or have you been able to get some people more competent and far more competent than you to join hands with you? If you can sell your idea to 2, 3, 4 more people and get a co-founder along with you, our conviction to invest behind you multiplies many, many times.
I think a very important point there, right? Finally, it boiled down to the promoter, founder, or whoever you call that. Ultimately, it's the final. Most investors say 50% of our decision is based on the founder and his passion and his understanding of what needs to happen. And I think the founder has to be extremely clear what problem you are solving. And although it sounds fairly straightforward to say that, that's fundamental to any business that you have to scale on the long term. Is what problem are you solving? Sit in the shoes of the customer and say, do I see value in it? And if I see value in it, would I pay for it? And if I pay for it, how much will I pay for it? And that's the fundamentals on which your business should start to build up. Because it's easy to say, I will do X, Y, Z, and then I will repeat that all over the country, and so this is going to be a very big business. I get a lot of business plans that say exactly this. Here's what I want to do, this is what I'll do, and then I'll market all over the country, and then I'll become the largest player in the country doing this. But how will you become that? And what is the fundamental problem you will solve? And while going from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, how are you going to differentiate from someone who's already doing that or from some others in the, who are competing with you? So if you cannot get that solution and then or you cannot get the solution right or the value proposition right for the customer, or if you can't differentiate that or continue to differentiate that on the longer term, then you have a scale issue and then you have a growth issue. So I think those two problems you've got to hit right in the beginning are at least some of my thoughts on, and of course the core team, right? If there's chemistry in the core team, the founder, if that is not there, then no investor is interested, even if you have the best idea. We always get this thing, we have a brilliant idea, are you willing to invest? And not to sound too rough here, but ideas dime a dozen. And it's all about execution. It's all about execution, and there is plenty of ideas out there. For people who say, hey, that was the idea I had and somebody else executed, well, that's exactly what it is. It's somebody else that's executing. That is what matters. And it doesn't matter what the idea is. I'm sure there was some article recently that said, right, there was about 96 companies that started on the same thing that Google went on and did later. And Google started later and did later. So if somebody is thinking Google idea was great, this whole search thing was great, there was at least 96 companies that had already started. It was all about execution, that Google is Google, and then those 96 companies you don't hear about. That said, let me ask Mr. Ajay Thakur to talk a little bit about what kind of companies are kind of ideally set to go into the stock exchange, the SME stock exchange? What kind of, other than of course the basic qualifying metrics that you already mentioned, what kind of things that businesses should think about going into the market?
I think with the SME platform in existence, any company having turnover between 10 to 500 crores can think of getting listed on this SME platform. You know, I had talked about various benefits, and of course you have said very rightly, it's not the idea that matters, but it's the execution. No, a stock market also work like it. No, many of the times, many promoters comes to me and they say that we have got this much of asset, we have got this much of investment in plant and machinery, we have got lands worth crores. In a stock market, all those things don't matter. Ultimately, it's the bottom line which matters. So if you have a turnover of 500 crores with a bottom line of 50 lakh, nobody will look to you. But if you have a turnover of 10 crores with a profit of, say, 3 crores, everybody will look to you. So it's always the bottom line which matters. You may be doing huge business. You may have got a lot of assets in your company. But if it's not generating the cash, then it doesn't have any value. And in fact, the investors, they look into those companies where there is a lot of cash flow. If the cash flow is negative, nobody will look into those companies. Other thing which is required the most is the consistency, where the profit is going up year-on-year basis or it is going down. Or you have got some additional thing in your company or not. You are different from other companies or not. Or you are doing the same business for years. Then people will not get attracted to your company. So in a stock market, you have to be consistent with your profitability, with your business plan and all those things. And then a stock market is a beautiful place to create valuation for your company. You know, if you are an unlisted entity and if you have got a turnover of, say, 5,000 crore, and anybody asks you that what is the valuation of your company, you may be able to tell the book value of the company. But I know many companies having turnover of 500 crores with a market capitalization of 2,000 crores, 3,000 crores. So ultimately, what happens with the listing? You becomes the RBI governor of your own company. No, today in India, only the RBI governor has the right to sign on the currencies. But when you list your company, what happens? Your company is doing the business. But with the listing and your market capitalization becomes 100 crores. So you are additionally printing 100 crores worth of currency for your company, which you can either sell into the market or which you can mortgage with the banks or the NBFC and can raise funds at a very attractive rate of interest. So these are various benefits with which your company can get listed on the stock exchange. But of course, it's the bottom line which matters, you know, the assets, etc. Otherwise, we have got the companies which has got assets of 1.5 lakh crore, but their market capitalization is in the range of 25,000 crore. But we have got the other companies which have got assets worth 5,000 crores, but their market capitalization is 50,000 crores. So it's always the bottom line which the investors in the equity market looks into.
Let me add to this particular point. When we invest in businesses, we invest in intellectual property. We invest in people. None of our companies, portfolio companies, have any asset. We don't allow them to invest in building. We don't allow them to invest even in server space. Everything is rented, leased out, and our money goes in building intellectual capital and serving the customers. So customer service or technology development, this is where the cost goes. Look at the new companies that have got listed. Just Dial. The turnover is, I think, not more than 400 crore of rupees. Today, its value is more than 10,000 crore of rupees. The turnover of Naukri is, I think, 500 crores and valued at 6,000 crore. The revenue multiple these companies enjoy is immense, provided we have built something so unique and different. So what he's saying, Ajay Thakur Sahab is saying, is the land, building, etc. is not important. It is the profitability of the business that is important. These businesses turn profitable only after listing. Until the time the listing happened, they had huge losses. And we never knew what was the value of those businesses before listing. After listing, the value of these companies have been discovered. So listing is a good sign. We will, means as Your Nest, we will list all our companies moment they are, at a consistent quarter-on-quarter revenue. The only criteria that we look for, consistent quarter-on-quarter revenue growth. The revenue becomes predictable. We will list those companies even if they are having a 5 to 10 crore turnover per year. Because then the real value will be discovered for our investors who invested in your Nest Angel Fund.